Hello everybody and welcome back for another Sunday trip and look around the gardens. Today is the 9th of July. Two quick apologies to start things off. One, I apologize for the wind, but the weather's not getting any better today, so I figured get the video while I can. And two, I apologize there was no video last week. Not necessarily the best day in my calendar year. So yeah, life moves forward. Let's see what the garden's got growing on. From a distance, it certainly looks nice enough. And if you look over here, haven't put out the video on this yet, but we have a new raised bed over here in our garden. Got 4 peppers and a rhubarb in it at the moment. The pepper plants seem to be doing alright, but unfortunately the rhubarb was incredibly wilted. I trimmed it down, hopefully it'll grow back. And then we had one of the foxes was digging in here. We found like a bird carcass and such. So yeah, probably gonna mess with things a little bit. But like I say, the 4 peppers seem to be doing alright. That's the shishito in the top right there. What we got here is the, oh, I've forgotten already. Antohi sweet, that's what that one is. And then I believe this one is an ahi penic. And I believe that one is an ahi penic. So yeah, kind of interesting. Little split log raised bed we've got going on here. Testing that chainsaw, that was interesting. Not something I'll be doing again though, I don't think. Anyway, let's look at the rest of what's going on. Beside that here we have our strange little potato bin. These plants look like they're doing okay. I have no idea how many potatoes we may or may not get in the bottom of that. But those flowers were much prettier last week. You'll just have to take my word on that. They might produce the little berries and seeds that we need though. Sure, they won't grow true, but they'll be interesting. Which, you know, that's kind of what I do around here anyway, so. Cool. Next year, freak potatoes. Trying to kind of block the wind as we go here, so hopefully it works a little bit. We've got that one indigo rose tomato. This is from the milk jug. I thought it was dead, but look at it now. Doesn't really look as purple as an indigo rose tomato normally should. So I'm starting to question that. Beside it, we've got one of the 2 sorcerer pumpkin plants. This is not the nicer looking plant by any means, but it's finally starting to catch up and it's greening up, and I do believe the heart of all that might be the beginning of a pumpkin. Cool. These are supposed to be like a dark red pumpkin. Looks like it's a reasonable size, so might just get some carving done this year. With a bow, with a knife. Depends how many pumpkins we get. Here is the Lemon Boy variety of tomato that I picked up as a plant start from the Home Hardware. Looking at it, I see quite a few flower starts on here. This looks like it's going to be a very productive plant. And because it's so windy, I don't have to worry about knocking it around to pollinate it, and we've got bees and stuff out here. It's not like it's in the dungeon. So, excellent. Grow, grow, grow. I might need a larger tomato cage for this. We'll see. We'll see. Anyway, beside that, we have the other sorcerer pumpkin, which is clearly doing much better than the one I showed you first. And I see if I can get it on the camera. Potentially the beginning of a pumpkin there, and potentially one there. So that's cool. Nice big broad leaves on this. Very happy looking plant. Grow, grow, grow. And beside it here, this little bush is a Manitoba variety of tomato. Looks like a nice beefsteak. It looks like it's also going to be very productive. Oh, the wind. Sorry about the wind. I see lots and lots of flower starts on this though, and it's only just the beginning of July, so they've got lots of time. Excellent. So moving over to that bed then so I can block the wind. Starting in this bed, we've got those so-called early cantaloupes, which have a lot of little flowers on them, and the leaves look like the plant is doing a little bit better than it has in the past couple of weeks. I don't see any fruit starts yet, but I'm hopeful. Very, very hopeful. Beside it here, we've got one of the peppers. Oh, I don't even remember what variety this is here. Let's just pull it out. Sugar Rush Cream. This is one of the first ones that came out. Got a couple of little flower starts in there. A lot of new growth off the stem. Need to come by with the scissors and take off some of these old leaves, or you can just kind of like peel them down in a way. They break off easy enough. But yeah, there you go. All in all, the mulch is working. Some very light weeding that I've had to do, but not much. Over here, I remember what pepper this is. This is the billy goat pepper. And look at that. Come on. Look at it, camera. Look at it. There it is. That is the beginning of my first billy goat pepper. I see a million little flower starts on this. It's going to be a very, very productive plant. Hopefully this is a nice tasty pepper because I like the shape, and I wouldn't be against bringing this one in to try and overwinter it like that sand dollar, because that thing's gone nuts. So yeah. Here we have the only offspring from the seed tape. Now I was looking at this earlier, and it seems like it's kind of purplish at the root. So I'm thinking turnip? Rutabaga? I don't know. You know, I still haven't referred to the old video to find out what I planted here. The moral of that story is that I just need to make labels for my gardens. And then on the end of this particular garden bed, we've got the Sugar Baby. I think I called them Sugar Rush last time. But the Sugar Baby watermelons. That again, these really looked like they were taking a rough go. And the sun was not kind to them when they first came out. But now they're coming back. They're greening up. And there's even a little flower on there. That's so exciting. I love watermelons, and the idea of a homegrown, fresh from the garden watermelon, oh yeah, that tickles my fancy in a very happy way. Here we have the peas and the beans. These guys are doing great. They didn't mind the early start at all. And look at that. It's one of my happiest days in the gardening season right there. It's the day I get to harvest first pea off the plant, and that is just the way I like them. Pretty much all pod, because I don't know, I'm just a freak that way. If I want like a pea, I'll go get it from the grocery store. So kind of continuing to look into this patch here, there are just tons of flowers on these beans. Getting super excited. I think I'm going to start another batch of beans fairly soon. Double harvest if we can. But that should make for some good spicy pickled beans. Beautiful color to these flowers too. Moving beside that, we've got, this is the sage that came out earlier. Tragically a little bit of bird poop on that right now, but otherwise looking good. And beside that we have another one of the little pepper patches. This one's been recently modified. Here we have the Weary pepper that came out. This is the one that was in my little cardboard box cold frame, and if we look really carefully above my thumb, there are some flower starts in there. It's a very compact little bush. I hope it has time to produce. I'm really curious. This is another one that I might potentially bring in this winter. We're just gonna have to see. In front of that here we have the Reaper that I brought out first. And it's alive and it's got new growth at the base, but I don't see any flower starts on that yet. And moving over from there, this is the Devil's Heart pepper. I believe the seeds for this were sent to me from Dave, grown at home in WV there. Really looking forward to seeing what these produce. And if we look carefully, again, I'm starting to get some flowers in there. So that's wonderful. Beside this we have Chinese 5 color, also sent to me by Dave. This is the one that I took the peppers off of while it was still downstairs. And as you can see, it hasn't really grown all that much or put on too many more peppers. So that is going to be quite interesting. We'll see. I did plant the other one outside of here as well, so we'll look at that in a few minutes. And then down here in these little holes, we've got these little tiny habanero plants that just aren't doing much of anything. I don't want to give up on them because they're plants and they're growing, but it's already July, so I don't see a lot of peppers coming off of those, you know. All right, next garden. So now I haven't weeded this one yet this week, so you'll see, you know, the weeds are coming up in amongst the mulch. It's not a guaranteed cure against them, but it's sure a lot less of them than in the places where I don't have a layer of mulch down. So yeah, I'm excited by that. A lot of these pepper plants seem to be doing pretty well. I don't have too many with fruit on them, but there is this one here. This one here is the garden salsa pepper. It's a new variety to me since I came out to Manitoba, and I grew it last year. It was fairly productive, fairly tasty. Growing it again this year. I suspect I'll be growing it every year to come because it seems to deal well with the season that we've got here. So, grow little garden salsa, grow. There are a few of these plants that are starting to put on flowers, but yeah, mostly it's like this one here, and it's all new growth since they've come out. I'm gonna have to find a better way to transition my plants so that they kind of keep growing instead of restart, because the season isn't really long enough for me to get away with them restarting. Yeah, yeah. This wind is driving me nuts though, so I guess we're going to take a slightly faster tour around the rest of what's out here. This is the butternut squash growing at the end of the bunker garden. This strange little sod bunker garden. I love it though. It's it seems to do great considering it's mostly lawn clippings. The corn's all coming up in its strange little pattern that I planted this year. I've got a few of those cucumber seeds that are coming up. They seem to be just that little bit slower, so hopefully they'll climb up the corn and not drag the corn down. But for the most part, those are kind of at this end of the bunker. It's only one or two that sprouted up at the other end. I sprinkled them all the way through, so that's quite interesting. But you'll notice I trimmed the grass in the front here, so the corn can finally get some light, and we'll see how it does. Grow, grow, grow! Beside the bunker here, we've got the brassica bed this year. Those broccolis are looking great, aside from this one on the end, which is starting to show signs that it's warming up, so I'll be topping that and letting the little florets grow on the side of the main stem there. Actually, it kind of looks like that one there could use a topping as well. But that's cool, I don't mind the little florets. And these cabbages. These cabbages are doing great. Really excited for those. Here we have the other Chinese 5-color that seems to have spread out more, and this is the one that I didn't take the peppers off of. But yeah, it seems to have spread out more. It's producing more of a canopy than that other one. And that is a fresh-ish flower on there, so I don't know. All in all, I'm going to say for my season, it's probably better just to leave the plants alone and let them grow. Down here at the end of this particular bed, we have the lonely zucchini plant. The first one that was growing on here started to rot on the ground. The second one that was growing on here, some jerk critter nibbled at the end of and then passed on. Oh, we've got a couple more. There's one starting there, there's one starting there. Looks like there's one starting down there. So I should still get some zucchini for us out of this, because apparently wildlife have decided they don't like it. And we've got the one spaghetti squash that I bought a start for, and I'm mighty glad I did, because my seeds did not sprout. But this is growing along quite nicely, getting to be a nice lengthy little vine. Cut the lawn 2 days ago, and you can see that's where I cut it. That's the growth since then, so that's not bad at all. But that is the beginning of a spaghetti squash. Very happy bear. Love spaghetti squash. And then we have the chaos pepper bed. Now this is chaos for a couple of reasons. I mean, it's really fairly organized in its planting this year, but this is another place that the foxes have decided it's a good place to dig and is a good place to eat and leave refuse. So I'm gonna have to figure out something there. And of course it's chaotic because I still never did clean out the back end of it. And I've just been doing a little bit of mining for soil back here. It's the closest thing I've done to weeding it or anything like that. So yeah, chaos factor gets to play in this one a little bit more than in the other beds. All in all though, like I was saying, things in the gardens are coming along really nicely. And I will be doing an update on all the fruit and berry stuff for the Clean Valley Farms channel in the next few days. Going to be a lot of videos coming up on all the assorted channels in the next few days. I have been asked to try and participate in the 30 videos, 30 days challenge type thing, I'm not really good at that, and that would turn this garden channel into basically a vlog. I'm not really good at that either. So yeah, it's gonna get spread out. Make sure you're subbed to all the various channels I've got going if you want to see what I'm gonna do to fill up 30 videos in 30 days. On that note, I'm gonna let you go. Thank you all so much for sticking around through the wind and checking out how my garden is doing. I love spending this time with you guys, and always value your feedback. So any advice for me on any of these things, please just feel free to throw that right in the comments below, and I will get back to you as soon as I get a chance. Have a great week ahead, everybody.